have made platform. Yes, man has made platform with legs. I've extended this out because today is Steel Factory Day. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we need to get into steel production, and I'm super excited. What's going on, gaming nerds? Welcome back to Midnight Gaming with Mystic Nightmare. Thanks for coming to the channel and hanging out. Hopefully you guys are having an amazing day. I'm having a pretty decent day. It is midnight yet again, and yet again we are back on Satisfactory. So, steel production today, excited, awesome. We are going to automate steel pipes, steel plates, and then another steel pipes, another steel plates, because we need to also automate encrusted, what are they called? Encrusted steel beams, as well as encased industrial beams, as well as statters. We're going to do that. Now, I probably could do motors. If we have time, I'll do a line for motors, but I'm not sure if we're actually going to get there or not. Before we left on the last episode, we had a bunch of power slugs. Those power slugs ended up being 13 power shards. Now, just for you guys' information, green can make one, yellow can make two each, and then the blue or purple, I'm colorblind, I don't know which one it is, but they can make 5 each. And I've got the hiccups. On top of that, I started scanning hard drives. Now, once the last hard drive was done, I was able to open this, and I wanted to show you the different choices we have. We have an alternate blueprint for heavy module frames. We have an alternate for heavy module frames again, which is actually very weird that these are pretty much exactly the same. And then we have one for rotors. Now, with the rotors, you actually use wire. The difference is you can do 9 parts per minute instead of the 6 that, or is it 5? I think it's 5 that you normally do. And all we'd have to really do is we'd need steel pipes and we need steel wires. Honestly, I don't like any of these, but I gotta choose one. So, yeah. Let's just... Yeah, okay, let's just go ahead and choose that one. Let's go ahead and throw another one of these in.
Data on the hard drive has been salvaged and can be repurposed to unlock an alternate recipe.
Start that up.
Salvaging more hard drives will provide additional alternate recipes.
Awesome. Okay, so to actually open those up, you can go into alternate rotors, and you can open them up here. I'll open up later on if I need to, but... I don't know. Anyway, we need to get into, before we start the steel production, we need to get into conveyor belt, MK3s or Mark 3s, as some people say it, and then storage. We don't really need the storage, but it'll be nice to have it. But we are going to kind of need to get into to conveyor belts, MK3s. So I've got all the stuff. Let's select the milestones. I've made motors off camera by hand. Yes, by hand. Whole bunch of wire in this bad boy. And then we're going to need some of those, and boom, that's on our way. Okay, so now we've got...
Milestone reached. Logistics have improved by the means of a container with
Mark
increased storage capacity
3s.
and enhanced conveyor belt efficiency.
Awesome, which takes steel beams, okay? Now, there's a lot of people out there who feel the need to build these huge, massive... production areas. I don't feel the need really to do that, because I notice when I'm out playing around and doing stuff, eventually stuff trickles in enough where it fills stuff up, and then wow, my brain got ahead of my mouth. Fills stuff up, and this is what happens. Nothing. Everything stops because everything's full. And at that point, this huge, massive, production area that you had really doesn't do anything for you. Granted, when you pull stuff out, then it does a whole bunch of stuff. But, until then, it's really not doing anything, which is fine, not a big deal. So as quickly as I can, I'm going to go over the overclockers. Overclockers are fairly easy. We're going to start with this reinforced iron plates, okay? This needs 20 per minute for iron plates. This needs 120 screws. Now, if you remember in probably the last episode, we had these 2 screw areas put together to get 120 out of these machines. However, I've split them apart. Now, here's how you do it. You start at the end machine and you say, okay, this is how much I want to actually clock this machine up to. You throw an overclocker in, you pull it up, and you say, okay, this is what I want, to make out of it, how much I want per minute. It's going to change this number here, and it's going to change this number here. Then you need to go down the line and figure out, okay, what do I need to make those numbers? And then you need to overclock the machines that way. So for us to do just the basics, which is 120, this only does 90. I'm going to put an overclocker in here and I'm going to change it to 134. 134% is actually 120. So if I take one of these off and it crafts some, usually it crafts some. Okay, it's obviously now at 120, so we're able to make 120 and put 120 in there. I also know, because this is a Mark II belt, that that'll carry 120. So now we're still good, we're awesome, but now we need to go to the back machine behind that, which is the iron rods, and it needs 20.1 per minute. Okay, so here's our iron rods. Well, it only makes 15 per minute. Okay, throw an overclocker in there, put it at 134. What does 134 give us when we actually take a couple of iron rods out of here? Oh, look at that. It goes up to... Did you not... 134, bud. Okay, so now it goes up to 20.1. So now we are given this machine in front of us what it requires, which is 20.1. This one has 20.1 that it's giving out. And what does it require to have inside this? It needs 20.1 iron ingots. Okay, are we making 20.1 iron ingots? No. We're making 30. We're making way more. Now, if we wanted to, we could probably turn down the overclocking on this and actually make it so it's down to 20 if we wanted to do that. That way we would save on power if we wanted to do that. So that's basically all overclocking is. And now that I've got that done, I know for a fact that I'm also producing 120 per minute. This belt can hold 120 per minute. So we are now giving our assembler 120 per minute. We're going to do the same thing with the iron plates. Let's go into the iron plates. It needs 20 per minute. This only makes 15. We're going to put an overclocker in and we're going to overclock it to 134%. 134%, grab a couple of these, make it start to run. And boom, we're at 20.1. Well, now we need 2 iron ingots. We need them at 40.2 per minute. Okay, so we go to the back one and we say, okay, what is this making? Uh-oh, it's only making it 30. So we throw in this, go down here. I think 134 is actually kind of the magic number. Oh, look, it's making 40.2. Now, what do we need for iron ore? We need 40 for iron ore to go in here. Well, I know for a fact that this is already pushing in 40, so we're good to go. And that is it. That's all overclocking is, ladies and gentlemen. Simple as that. So now that you've got that done, you can go ahead and say, okay, just basically start at your end machine, overclock it to what you want to produce per minute, and then start moving back to your back machines. It's that simple. So what I've done over here is I've done a little prep work for our steel work. First of all, I put 2 assemblers out. The first assembler is going to be used for encased industrial beams, and we're going to need steel beams to go in there, and we're going to need concrete. So we're going to need to run some concrete down here. The second machine is going to be statters. Now, statters take steel pipes and 10 wire. So we're going to need to run some wire. I've done some prep work, like I said, and I have ran some wire and some concrete down there. It wasn't really too bad, but it's kind of funky because we've actually got the wire going in the opposite direction, which is crazy. But I just threw a foundation out there and I threw a splitter. I got one side of the splitter going to storage and I got the other side going down to this assembly down here. I did the exact same thing down the line for the concrete. It was fairly easy to do. Took a couple of seconds and that was it. I do have some crossed over conveyors. It actually doesn't really look bad. It's a little bit more, you know, stylish than trying to go over conveyors. Okay, so I've thrown out a foundry. And I wanted to throw that out to kind of get an idea of how big these are and where we're going to need to put everything and where we're going to need to put the assemblers and stuff. On top of that, I've placed 3 stacks of splitters. And this is how we're going to do our splitters. Now, if you guys don't know about stack splitters, you really should know and get to know them very well because all the cool people are doing it and you want to be cool too, right? There's a trick to these splitters. There's actually 2 tricks to the splitters. To do like a 3-high splitter, you can do it this way. You want to put down a full-size foundation. You want to grab a splitter, converger, whatever you want, and put this down. Now, before you do anything else, you want to run all of your lines in and out of the top one, because if you don't, when you put down the second foundation, which is a half foundation, and you put the next splitter underneath that, then it's going to give you a problem when you're trying to run the lines for the top one. It's going to say encroaching on area. So you want to avoid that. You want to run all your lines on the top one first and then run your line on the second one down below. Then you can take your bottom one out and go ahead and run your third splitter down at the bottom. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a splitter stack. It's that simple. Okay, so that's how we're going to do it. Now, I was thinking about actually pulling iron off of this iron node and piping it into our steel production along with some coal. We've already got some coal down there, as you can see. However, that thing is already so split up and ridiculous, we'd only be getting 20 per minute on this belt that holds 120. So what did I do? Yeah, I did that. If I hit C, 700 and something meters over that direction, I found another iron node. Actually, I found 3. I've piped a whole bunch of iron down here with an MK2 belt, as you can see at the top of the screen, 788 meters. I piped a whole bunch of iron down here with a 100 MK2 belt, or a Mark II belt, at 120 per minute, and we're going to use this. So before we start, what we need to do is we need to get rid of our bottom thingamajiggers, and then what we need to do is we need to run our top. So I'm going to have the coal come off of the top. Now, before we get all of this really going, I'm going to use a Mark II belt. I'm going to go right there. Okay, I'm going to run all of the Mark II belts up top here. So this is going to be split. So we're going to be putting in 120 per minute. It's going to be split into 60 this direction and 60 this direction. Then we're going to come off of these and we're going to go into each one of our foundries. Now we need to put our foundries out. So I've got a whole bunch of storage over here that's going to allow us to do that. I've got a bunch of extra stuff. I made a bunch of extra stuff by hand. We've got a bunch of pipes, got a bunch of encased industrial beams. We'll grab a couple hundred of those. And I think that's really all that we need to make all of this stuff. Oh, and we got a couple of reinforced steel plates. Okay, so let's go ahead and find our foundries here, which are under production and foundry. We're going to put the 2 ends towards the splitters, and we're going to go 1 there. We're going to pop 1 there. We're going to pop 1 over there. Now, I don't have the room over here. This side over here was the side that I was thinking about doing an extra line for the motors. I don't actually have enough room. I might have to move those conveyor belts. But as of right now, this is what we got going. So what these are going to do is it's going to give us steel plates, or steel ingots. We got to go steel ingots all the way. I was thinking constructors. We're not into constructors yet. Okay, steel ingots. Okay, so now we can go ahead and pipe all of the rest of the coal. And remember, you have to do this on the top splitter first, and before you place your bottom splitters. Okay, so we're going to come over here, and we're going to go, let's see, we'll go from here to there, and then we'll go, can I go from over here to over there? Then we'll go from over here to over there, and then we'll go from over here to that one over there. Okay, so now our iron is done, or not our iron, but our coal. Now we need to grab our iron. So with our iron, what we have to do is we have to come down and we have to grab logistics. We have to grab our another splitter. And this one's going to come in that direction right there. That didn't line up quite right. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they look pretty. Sometimes they look ugly. 8. Okay, so now I need 3 splitters. I forgot about that. Okay, is that lined up? Okay, I think that's lined up right there. We need 1 more splitter down over here for the rest of our iron. That one didn't work out right because I don't know why. It's just being mean like that. All right, so let's go ahead and get our conveyors done. So to start off with, we grab our side ones. That'll split into 60. That'll split our iron into 60. Then on the inside here, we're going to go here over to that one. And on the outside, we're going to go here to that one. And then over here, we're going to go in here to this one, and in here to this one. So basically what we've got is we've got 1 splitter for 2 foundations. Okay, so once we've done with this, it's time to start putting down our where are they? Our constructors. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to do... Now, the constructors actually line up pretty well, but the belts look a little bit funky. So I would line it up straight. So we're going to go one constructor right there for steel pipes, another one for steel pipes that go into our assemblers, another one, or one for steel plates that go into our assembler, and one for steel plates that go into storage. So the two end ones go into straight into storage. So steel pipes and steel plates into storage, and these two in here go into our assembler. So now we need to go ahead and put our belts here. Now when you do the belts with this, even though you line it up straight, the belt's a little cockeyed, but actually when you put it down like this, it does look pretty good. Now I'm using all Mark II or MK2 belts, mainly just to get from one to the next faster. I know that they're usually mostly used for like how much we're actually making. Like if we're making 120, you want to make a Mark II belt, blah, 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 blah. But also, I think it also helps that they move faster, plain and simple. So we're going to pull this one out here. That's going to let me know that we're actually going to be doing steel pipes. And then this one in here is going to be steel pipes. This one here is going to be steel beams. And this one out here is going to be steel beams as well. And this one is going to come straight out here. Let's just go straight out to right about there. And that one's going to go straight to storage. So the two end pieces straight to storage. Now, we go ahead and take this. And let's see, we'll go into there. Steel beam into our assembler to make... put steel beams in here, and then concrete we need in here as well. And then in this one we're going to do the exact same thing, but on this one, that one's straight but that one's not. Oh well, we don't care. Steel pipes, and then we're going to need to bring in some steel wires. To do the steel wires, I've got the steel wires over here. First of all, I think what we're going to do is we're just going to go like this. I realize they're going to cross over. That's fine. Encroaching, no, it's not actually fine. I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to go straight up and down with this. I'm probably going to have to go something like this, and then do something like this over to here, and then come straight across over to... Now the wire went into the far one, right? So we're going to have to put a number 7 right here, and then an 8 here. Bring this over here and that down into there. So there's our wire into that. That is the one that needs wire, right? Yes, it is. And then we're going to need to do concrete. Now the concrete, I think we've got enough room where we can just bring it with an 8 or a Mark II belt straight over here, just like that. That isn't too off of straight. It's pretty good. It does cross over, but I don't mind. That's fine. I'm going to set up the power for all this stuff, and we'll be right back. Okay, the power has been ran, and I've decided to go ahead and take the belts, and I've made storages for each one of these. Okay, let's just go ahead and do this real quick, just so you guys can see stuff coming out. I've made 2 storages over here, one for the steel beams and one for what else did we make? The straters. And then over here I've made one for the pipes, and then one for the industrial steel beams, or whatever they're called. So I've made kind of a mess when it comes down to our belts. Now I've just done this for a basic get it done, get it over with. Off camera, I'll go ahead and make it a lot pretty. I've kind of made it a mess, and but I do have belts going to the storage. I mean, that was just cockeyed as all hell, but I do have belts going to the storage, and I've got one coming from back there for the steel pipes that goes to storage. Actually, this one needs to come down here, and I think this is going to encroach on another one. No, you're not? Ooh, you're going to work. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm happy about that. All right, so that'll go into there. Then I've got one coming down the top, or I'm sorry, the side down here for the steel beams. And then I've got this one, which is for, I don't even remember what half of these are, encased industrial beams going down that way. It's ugly, and this is starting to look really, really bad. It's starting to look totally spaghetti. I need basically we're going to take this entire area over here, we're going to delete it all, and we're going to rebuild it, but we're going to rebuild it vertical. We're going to go up with it. I'll have all of the smithies and everything down here, and then I'll have all the constructors up top. So we'll get a little bit more room over here, and this will look a lot prettier. But right now it's looking a little spaghetti. So let's go ahead and start this off. And these wires have just been going like nuts, man. They've just been filling everything up. Okay, so power line, this one I believe needs to go for is it here? All right, and everything should be going. We've got everything connected over here, right? Everything's connected over here. Are we missing stuff? Oh, I can't get between those. I made this so tight it's ridiculous. I mean, usually tight's good, but still, you know what I'm saying? You guys know what I'm saying. Let's see, two. Did we not just get one? Okay, so let's do this. First off, we're going to go ahead and connect our iron down right here. I couldn't see it there for a second. And then we're going to go ahead and connect our coal to this one right here. Okay, we got coal coming in and everything else. I swear to God, why does this not have power? Seriously, power? Did I not just do that a second ago? I swear I just did that a second ago. Okay, 120 split into 60, 60 split into 30, 30. Now, for these foundations, we're going to need 45 iron ore per minute. We do not have 45 going in. All we've got going in is 30. And that kind of sucks because it's going to slow everything down big time. But there's our spaghetti, and look at that. It actually works out really well. Things are getting turned into ingots. We've got our steel ingots coming out. We got these working on steel pipes and everything, and then everything is just slow as molasses, as you can see, because we don't have our MK3 belts out and we don't have the MK2 MK2 miners out. So everything's really super slow, but stuff is getting done. Okay, so we got statters coming out and everything else like that. It's not going out super quick, but they are coming out. There we go. We have stuff over here. We got this guy's working, right? Please tell me this has power. Yes. Okay, so we got encased industrial beams. Now the problem we've got is steel beams are going to be taking quite a while. Steel beams actually take a lot to craft, to be completely honest with you. So what I've decided to do is I had this idea. Now what I was going to do was I was going to go through and I was going to make a whole bunch of beams, steel beams, and I was going to turn this whole thing into Mark III belt. I've decided to try something else here and come over here. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to delete this. And then what I think we can do is we can go over, no, I've got one right there. Take all except for you. You can go in the trash. Thank you very much. Did I get everything in the trash? No, I did not. That is iron ore. Okay, that should be everything. If we can make production a miner MK2, we can. Okay, and we can go with a Mark III belt, which I've assigned to level 9, to number 9, and come over through here. Hopefully we can just do this real quick. I'll clean all of this stuff up later on. I just want to get it going for you guys. Okay, we're going straight through the rock. Now, if we can get this bad boy moving, this bad boy will push out 240 ore per minute. Okay, so if we can just go, let's see what needs to be hooked up there. Okay, so you are starting up 240 per minute. Now if I can change this belt right there to a MK3 or a Mark III, as anal people like to call it. There's a Mark III, there's a Mark III. Okay, so now we've got 240 iron ore coming into this bad boy. Hello, Lag Spike. That was nice of you. We've got 240 ore coming into this bad boy. Oh, man, these are making it hard to climb up. Look how fast they're coming in. Okay, that 240 gets split into 120 this direction and 120 this direction, and then they get split again into 60 and 60. Okay, so we actually have 60... yeah, we actually have 60 ore coming into this bad boy at this point. Okay, so our iron ore is actually through the roof right now, which is totally awesome. We've got double. No, this is how much it makes. We've got 60 coming in and we only need 45. So this should actually speed things up. The only problem I'm afraid of is the coal is still on a 120 belt. And what's feeding that is actually a 120 belt with a 120 MK1. Yeah, it's feeding it with one of these. So we need to switch our coal over to a miner MK2. And then I literally have to go through and change the entire coal belt with the helix up there, all the way up there, all the way up to the top to an MK3 line. That is going to be absolutely freaking ridiculous. But by doing this, I was able to show you guys, you know, the MK3 belt, how nice the Mark III belts are, how fast they push out. They've got, I believe they make a total of, yeah, 270 resources per minute. That's really, really nice. It's actually a little bit higher. So what we could actually do is we could actually overclock that to make 270 per minute. That's just totally insane when it comes down to how much stuff we'd have going in here. And if I wanted to, I wonder now, because I need to do, I was thinking maybe I could overclock this thing, but I'd need to put even more coal. And we're not doing 45 coal, we're only doing 30 coal per minute, which kind of sucks. But that is our basics. Well, it's more than our basic steel production. Basic steel production I see is the steel pipes and the steel beams. We got steel pipes going in, we got steel beams, and we've also got the industrial, we've got the statters, and then we've got the industrial beams. The nice thing about the statters is this is what makes motors. So what I could actually do is just let this fill up a whole bunch of statters, and then I could take and put those with rotors and make motors, and then we can do an upgrade on the space elevator to open up tier 5 and tier 6, and that's kind of why I did all of the steel production. On top of that, I need to basically off camera go through and switch all of our storage out to the storage miner MK2 or the Mark IIs. And I'm going to need 15 industrial beams and 15 pipes per to do that. So we're going to have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what, 12? 13. We're going to need to do 13 storage. And I still haven't decided if I want to go vertical with the storage or not. Right now I'm thinking, yeah, it might be a good idea, because then I could split all of these freaking belts up, because this is getting to be a mess and I'm not sure really how to fix it other than to delete all this and go vertical with it. So that is our steel production. It doesn't look like we actually have time to do motors, but basically for motors, it's this exact same line right here, or not this line. It's this line right here. So an assembler, a constructor making steel pipes, a foundry back there making steel ingots, and then in front of this would actually be another assembler right in front of here making motors. And then I would have to pull in a line of rotors. I could probably split off right up here and pull in a line of rotors up here to make motors. And it wouldn't really be too hard to actually do that. But yeah, we're doing pretty good. And I think off camera what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to go through, I'm going to change all of our belts, all of it, to MK3, Mark III conveyor belts. But I think maybe what I'll do is I'll wait to change out all the rest of our MK1 or Mark I miners to MK2s, and then show you guys how much more production there is with that much ore coming in, because 240 is a heck of a lot. It's double what the 120s will do. Super awesome. I was excited about this. I'm glad I got it done. We've got some steel coming in. Now I can start really doing some high-speed belting and production. Do you see how fast that is? Look at that. That is freaking fast. Woo. Oh yeah, enough to make you sick. If you liked the video, hit the like button. If you didn't, don't hit it. Just make sure no matter what you do, subscribe. Thanks for coming to the channel and hanging out with me today, guys. I really appreciate it. Keep gaming. Keep doing it, midnight. Have a blast. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Take care. Have a good one. And bye-bye.